You're watching The Edward Fowler Show. Now, here's your host, Edward Fowler.
And yes, indeed, welcome to my show here on this Wednesday night, hump day edition of the show. And what a way to end out this hump day, the first one of July. It is the 3rd today, of course, for all of you in the US. And of course, tomorrow is very special for you because it's your Independence Day. While over here, it's all about going to the polls on Independence Day. That's a very peculiar way to spend a Thursday. But politics aside, thank you to whoever's liked the video already about actually me doing anything. You've not heard me say anything. You've not heard my guest say anything as of yet. But you will in just a moment, because please welcome to my show, waiting in a lovely place behind him, is the lead vocalist of a brilliant band called Skinny Knowledge, a all alternate rock band with the lead vocalist called Andy L. Smooth. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you again for accepting the invitation to be on the show this evening. And thank you to all the wonderful people out there who wanted to have yourself on the show this evening. Because when I reached out to have on this other brilliant band on the show the other week, I was asked if we could have you on the show. So I felt obliged to do so. So you're more than welcome to be here this evening, and you get to join the likes now of White Said Fred. You get to join the likes of Red Theory as well, and all these other brilliant musicians over the years to come on this great show.
Cool. Yeah, sounds like some good company to be in, to be honest.
Most definitely. I bring the both worlds of sports and entertainment, and this is an entertainment edition tonight. Now, before we get into anything, if you're watching this on YouTube, then well done for tuning in. If you're listening to this on audio sites, then you're not going to understand what I'm going to say, because behind you, Andy, you've got quite the environment going on behind you, haven't you?
Yeah, this is this is the spare room in the house, or music room as we call it.
Yes, I can see a lot of music stuff in there.
Filled with guitars and drums and amps and PAs and God knows what else.
Crikey. How many guitars have you got altogether, by the way?
I say it's not that many, but when I say I think I've got like 10 or 11.
Wow. And do you use all of them?
Yeah, that's not many. Do I need all of them?
No. Do you use all of them when you go around?
Yeah. I use them for lots of different things.
Have you got a particular favourite or anything like that?
I bought one recently. It's a Black Les Paul Custom. I'm really enjoying playing that at the moment. But I mean, my favourite would probably be. I'll show you it. This is my favourite because this was my first proper guitar that I got when I was a kid. So I bought it. We went on holiday to America with my parents, and I bought this at a music shop in Florida in 2006. So I've had it with me since then. It's
wow.
It's a smart wood, and it's quite rare that they only did it for a limited amount of time because it's got like no finish on it.
Gotcha.
Just the plain wood, and it's a guitar that I've got so used to how it feels. Every other guitar that I pick up and play, I always compare it to this.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of I've been using it for like 15, 16 years.
That's cool.
No, more than that now. 16, like 17, 18 years now.
Yeah, 18 years, yeah.
But yeah, so this is probably, I don't really gig it anymore because I would hate for anything to happen to it.
Fair enough. But you use it for videos or for any singles or
I still
albums?
use it quite a lot of recording.
Yeah.
I think like the entirety of the first album was pretty much this guitar. The second album, quite a lot of it was on this as well. So yeah, that's probably my favourite.
Cool.
My baby.
Yes. It's got a lot of stories they could probably tell. There's probably a lot of stories it could tell if it could talk as well.
Yeah. Actually, do you know what? I went to a guitar shop in Glasgow last week, and the guy that runs it there, he said that he wishes guitars could talk because he said, "Do you imagine, buying a second-hand guitar? If you had to buy one from like the 60s or 70s, the amount of things that it would have seen, the amount of people that would have played it,
Yeah,
the amount of stages it's been on, the audiences, the festivals, the gigs. It's just you don't really think about it when you just pick up a guitar, but you
no,
think how many places that guitar has been. It's just fascinating the way that you kind of said it like that.
it
So
is,
yeah,
and not just that, but all the story they could tell from, I guess, all the bad things they might have seen as well. So
yeah.
it could probably expose a lot of things if they could
Oh
talk.
yeah, definitely.
But I mean, it's great. It's great that you got a lot of heritage there, and hopefully one day in the future, if you decide to ever, apart from it, hopefully you get a good sum of money for it because of the longevity it's gone through and how you've been able to keep it in great shape as well.
Yeah, yeah, for
So,
sure.
of course, your other band members, as you mentioned to me off the air, are based down south compared to where you are at the moment.
Yeah.
Is it quite difficult to commute to meet them all, or how do you get together nowadays?
So it's only been a recent thing anyway, because as I said, I only moved up kind of near Sheffield from Bournemouth. I moved up here like January time.
Yeah,
So up until that point, obviously we've all been very close together and it's been fairly easy. The last few months, um, I mean, I travel around a lot with other gigs and stuff anyway. So I often still go down to Bournemouth occasionally and we'll meet up. And if we need to have a rehearsal, I'll tie it in with something else or, whatever we need to do. But, we still, thanks to the likes of internet and God knows what else, it's not difficult to be able to, catch up and video call if we need to and stuff like that. And, the guys have come up this way for a couple of gigs so far and I've been down there. So, yeah, it's not been the end of the world.
no,
It's only kind of 4.5 hours, kind of either way. Which, I mean, to me, because the amount of driving I do at the moment, 4 hours doesn't seem like a lot, but I imagine to a lot of people, it's like, oh my god, that's such a long trip. But,
yeah. Tim,
but we're making it work, and yeah, it's not too bad.
yeah,
So far.
so far. But if you do the trip in one day, then it's like 8 hours spent on the road altogether, isn't it? Really,
Yeah, I
depending
mean,
traffic, obviously.
yeah, normally it would be a case of, driving down and then at least staying somewhere, and then the remaining trip on the way back.
Yeah.
The next. But I mean, often or not, if I end up having to go down to Bournemouth, I'll probably do, like 3 or 4 days and make a bit more of a trip of it.
Makes sense because then you can go and revisit places you've not been to for years, and
Yeah,
just
exactly.
just have a reunion as well, isn't it, with people?
Yeah, and also, it's still nice to go down and do a couple of gigs down there.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so I can kind of tie it all in like a, a little trip, as it were. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's talk about your newest album, I guess, because why not? It's called 22, I think it is. And tell me, what gave you the name for that? How did you come up with the name for the album? Which came out, of course, last month. It's available right now.
So it actually came out last year. It was
Last year, then.
October. Our last single came out last month.
Yes,
Um,
it's a good house.
well,
Or home, really.
on the album. But yeah, we put the album out last year, which was 2023. And the reason I called it 22 was because a lot of the album is based off of kind of what happened in my life during 2022. It's almost kind of like a journal or a
Yeah.
diary of a lot of things that happened in my life. So it kind of tells the tale of literally what went on. So when I was trying to think of a name, none of the song names individually kind of stood out to me, or there was no lyric that really stood out to me. And I kind of thought, well, this is a group of songs, this is a collection of songs that tell my story through that year. So I thought 22, that kind of sums it up, really.
No, good name. It's unique and it's different as well. And when it came out then last year, as you mentioned, what was the reaction like to the song, to the album, and as well to your newest single, which you've released from that, which came out, of course, called Home?
Yes, it's been really good. We took a bit of a turn with how the music was going on this album. It's definitely a little bit heavier. And so it's kind of, we've still got that similar sound, but we've definitely kind of diverted a little from it,
Yeah.
experimented with a couple of different things, and it seems to have gone down really well. You know, I'm really proud of all the songs. I know the rest of the guys are as well. And you know, we really think that there's some great tracks on there, and other people seem to think so as well. So it's always nice to know that you're not the only one that thinks your own music is good. You know,
Yeah.
nice to get that clarification from other people that you're doing something right.
It is. It is. And I guess as well, speaking of, as you mentioned with your guitar about 2006, of course, in 2006, you couldn't get like an instant reaction compared to 2024, where now you can release something and within hours you can get that instant response from anybody now, and you know you can get your instant response if it's a success or not. So I'm glad that it's been very much positive and that people are relating to it as well. Do you think that they're relating to similar situations they found themselves in compared to yourself?
I guess so. Yeah, I think the music that I write um, is very much I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
And I write about real things, real life, things that have gone on in my life. I don't, you know, as much as I love, you know, 70s and 80s rock and whatever, but you know, I'm not singing about Dungeons and Dragons and wizards and stuff like Led Zeppelin did. You know, kind of, you know, this is real life stuff that's gone on in my life, and I find it a lot easier to just write about like past experiences or feelings that I've had, and I don't mind sharing that with people, and I think people can definitely connect to music when it's relatable in that sense. You know, you can listen to a song and listen to a lyric and think, oh my god, I went through that last year, or I'm going through this now, or and to kind of share that experience. And it's nice because people then realize that they're not necessarily on their own.
Yeah.
People are going through this, and yeah, I just think, you know, lyrics will resonate with you when it's something that connects in that way. And you know, a lot of the album was quite emotionally charged, and I think people have definitely connected with a lot of those emotions, and I think that helps, yeah, connect with your audience, definitely.
You made a good point there as well, because of the fact that when you say about how a lyric or something else can connect with somebody, and it shows that, oh, this person's gone through this, who is, you know, doing quite well for themselves, and it can affect them as well. So that can also draw more people to like your work because you've been in their shoes and you've survived the situation. So it's not as bad as it is.
No, I think it's easy to get lost in, you know, comparing your life to other people, or comparing your life to social media and influencers and stuff. And, you know, so much of what's online is just the glitz and glamour of life. It's all the great bits, but no one necessarily talks about the bad bits so much. So I think it's easy to get wrapped up in that and think, oh my God, my life isn't as great as everyone else's because look what everyone else is posting. And I think it's just, I think one of the songs in particular off of the first album, which is Take the Blame, was about that. And it's just, you know, just a friendly reminder that everyone's going through difficult stuff. Everyone's got their troubles, everyone's got their problems, you know, whether they post about it or not, everyone still struggles with certain things. And I think it's good to bring that to attention for people to realize and not get caught up in, you know, oh, my life sucks and no one else's life seems to. That's not the case at all.
Yeah, that's a true
point.
point.
The main things I always said when we were promoting the first album was it's okay to not be okay. And I think people kind of forget that a lot of the time. You know, you have to go out and be happy all the time and everything has to be perfect, and it's just not the case. It's okay for life to not be perfect sometimes, you know.
No, absolutely. I can't agree with you more, because, you know, everyone has ups and downs, don't they, throughout life, and if everything was always the same all the time, it can be a bit boring, can't it?
Yeah, it'd be boring. Everything's perfect.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't think being all the same would be very, very much enjoyable, at least, you know, I think. But so, of course, you mentioned, you know, your first album, you got this album, and you know, what's going to be next for you then?
So just writing at the moment. We've had a few festivals this summer.
Yes, you have. Yeah.
and we haven't got much in for the rest of the year at the moment, but there's plans for potentially another single before the end of the year. And it's just, yeah, just as in a single not from the album, so completely new.
Completely new, like the teaser.
And then, yeah, little teaser there.
Love
And then,
teasers.
yeah, in the future, yeah, we're just writing at the moment and seeing how things go. So yeah, that's not really kind of thinking too much further than that right now.
No, don't blame you.
Yeah, just kind of taking it as it comes, really.
Yeah, take one day at a time.
I need something big to inspire me.
Well, speaking about that, then, is this the room where all your creativity comes from, or do you have a special place you have to go to get all this creative
No,
influence or anything like that?
not necessarily. I think, as I said, a lot of the lyrics and stuff that I write about is just
Relatable to
more,
you?
yeah, just experiences or, things that have happened to me or that I've been through and stuff. So, I normally draw inspiration from that. It's not necessarily like a place or something. It's more a feeling or an experience for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'll normally just sit down here with a guitar. Or no, to be honest, I don't even try and force it.
No.
I think it comes to me in just random times. Like I might just right. Often or not when I'm driving or dog walking, actually, is the times when I come up with most ideas because I think my brain kind of switches off from everything else and I'm kind of just in my own little world.
Oh,
So it kind of frees up my brain to start being creative without me even necessarily knowing it, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I might just be walking the dog, and my brain is just completely switched off. I'm not focusing on anything, and then that leaves some room for a melody to come through or a lyric to come through. And then what I'll do is I'll normally record it on my phone, just like a voice note. I've probably got like 120 voice notes on my phone of me just walking the dog, being like, la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'll bring it in here, and I'll sit and work on it, or I'll message the guys and say I've got this. Like, do you guys have any ideas and stuff? And also I've written a few songs with Matt Bigland for a band called Dinosaur Pileup. A few of the tracks on the second album I worked on with him. So that was a really cool experience as well. Um, but yeah, tends to be not before. So, I mean, the most random time was so on this last album. There's a song called "I Hate That I Miss You," and I had the song, the structure, the melody. I had the whole demo recorded for it, but I just could not get the lyrics down for the life of me. The amount of times I tried to sit down and do it, and I couldn't force it out. And I woke up one night at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and these lyrics just started coming out. So I went and sat at the computer, got to like half three, 4 o'clock. I'd written the entire song in like an hour and a half, and then I just went back to sleep, and that was it. The song was done. It was just the most random thing. I tried for so long to get these lyrics out, and it just happened in the middle of the night. And you just got to go with it when it happens. Um, and then yeah, then I went back to sleep, and then woke up the next day, and I looked over it and I thought, yeah, that was all right. Yeah, that. I think that's the most random writing experience I've had.
Wow.
But yeah, when it comes to you, you got to get it out. So
Yeah. Yeah. Even if it's the middle of the night as well, because that could sometimes happen, can't it? So people who might be listening or watching this now might be intrigued to know what type of dog you have.
so I've got a husky.
Oh, good.
My girlfriend's got a miniature dachshund, so a little sausage dog. They're little and large, but they get on really well. And
Oh,
well, I
that's
don't know if you
good.
can see it up in the back there. Actually, there's I can see him there in the picture.
Yes. Yes, you can. Just
Uh,
right. Yeah, just right there. Yeah. And what kind of husky is it, by the way? Just curious.
Just Siberian Husky. So I rescued him a couple of years ago. He was over in Europe, and someone had just basically chained him up and just left him to die.
Oh no.
So I rescued him from over there, and yeah, he's the best. He's
Good.
he's little for a husky.
Yeah.
I want to do a DNA test actually because I'm not convinced that he's 100% husky because
Right.
I had a couple before, and they were both a lot bigger and a lot chunkier.
Yeah.
They kind of weigh 37, 40 kilos, whereas Loki only weighs about 20, 22.
Gotcha.
He's small in comparison.
Yeah.
So he's only a little baby, but yeah. So I'd be intrigued to know if there's something else in him. But
Yeah.
I'm around to it, to be honest. But I would like to.
No, it's a good point to make. I've also got kind of, we've got an Alcan, and then we've got a cross between an Alcan and a Siberian.
Oh, cute.
So yes, two, mother and daughter. We kept one of the litters years ago. So yeah, so quite a small thing we got in common there. I like that.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that 18 minutes ago? Talk to us as well. Like, you mentioned about the 80s and 90s to do with rock, and who were some of your inspirations as you were growing up, or in later life?
I grew up with a lot of classic rock stuff. My first ever covers band, we did AC/DC, Queen, Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin. My dad loved Meatloaf and the Eagles, so I grew up with Meatloaf and the Eagles. They're two of my favorites, and then I started getting into the kind of the 90s stuff. So, Green Day, Foo Fighters, Nirvana, that kind of pop punk grunge stuff as well. And I'd say that that's more what the band kind of takes inspiration from, less so from the 70s and 80s rock stuff. Although we obviously all love it and we've grown up with it. The sound of the band is definitely more of like a 90s feel for sure. But yeah, like Sum 41 and I don't know, Royal Blood, even if you go like modern influences and stuff. And even, slightly heavier stuff like Avenged Sevenfold, even Slipknot and whatever, we listen to so much. That kind of just take from lots of different things. Like I've been listening to loads of Limp Bizkit recently, and that's definitely come through in some of the stuff on the new album, like those kind of heavier riffs and stuff, for sure. So yeah, we kind of take inspiration from lots of different places.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned Limp Bizkit. Great band for sure from the 90s and early 2000s, and I believe, I could be wrong, I think they're still around. I think they're still cooking out some songs.
We went and saw them twice last year, and they're phenomenal. Like one of the best live shows I've ever been to.
Good.
We went and saw them at Gunnersbury Park in London in August last year.
Nice.
And it was, I'm not kidding, it was like a 30,000 person mosh pit for like an hour and a half straight. It just didn't stop. And they were phenomenal. They're just the ultimate, like, just hype band. Like, you can just go and see them and all you want to do is just jump and that's it. It just gets you pumped. They're the best. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that. And glad you got to experience them live as well. And hopefully, by the side of it, they lived up to the expectations or even surpassed your expectations.
100%. Yeah, I definitely recommend anyone going to see them.
There you go. Right there. Good recommendation for sure. Is there any other, of course, you mentioned about possibly a new single coming out later this year, brand new one, not related to the album, which is cool, and we can't wait to see and hear more about that whenever it comes out. And I'm guessing it'll be on the official band's social medias, which you can feel free to plug right now.
Yeah, it'll be on, obviously, well, whenever it may be released. We're on Facebook and Twitter or X as it's called, and Instagram. We're not quite cool enough for TikTok. We haven't done that yet. We haven't jumped on the TikTok train yet. But yeah, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere else you normally listen to music, obviously you'll find us on there. So. And
all they have to do is type what exactly?
Just type Skinny Knowledge. We are the one and only Skinny Knowledge, so you'll definitely find us. You'll probably see a picture of 4 weird-looking dudes with funky shirts on.
Well, tell me about because we have seen it a few times when you've been chatting here this evening about the inspiration of your, having tattoos.
Yeah, this arm's kind of getting covered at the moment.
Yeah.
Still got a few spaces to fill up, but this is actually my music arm. So this is all music inspired stuff. So that's a Green Day inspired tattoo, dinosaur pile up. I've actually got a biscuit with a limp. So that is tattoo. That's the Eagles. That's obviously Skinny Knowledge's first album.
Yeah.
That was for my nan because she was a singer and she was the one that got me into music. Never Break the Chain, Fleetwood Mac on there. And then lots of different stuff on here. Got like Guns N' Roses at the top and Sum 41 logo. Yeah, loads of different stuff. So that's my music arm. And then got Taylor Hawkins and the Foo Fighters logo on the back of the neck.
Oh,
cool. Yeah. Covered.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, great bands. You read about Green Day as well, of course. They're doing some cool things. They're the Out of White the other week, weren't they? Blasting out some great tunes and even getting some even young people on the stage to sing along with them. I bet nobody expected that when they went there in the morning.
Well, to be honest, it's been part of their show. I'm like a super Green Day fan.
Yeah.
Green Day nut. I know everything about them. And yeah, they've been getting people up on stage for years, a long time, and they still do it now.
They do.
So I went and saw them last week in Glasgow, and they played the whole of Dookie and American Idiot in full, and it was just like, because American Idiot was the album that got me into music. Like,
right.
It's the reason that I became a musician, I'd say, that album. So to see it in full is just like, I don't know, it's life changing. It's something I'm never going to experience again. I cried so much. But yeah, that show, we were quite near the front, and during one of their songs off on their new album Dilemma, this kid held up a sign that says, "I know how to play Dilemma" on the sign booth. So I was like, come on then, and he literally played the whole song and he smashed it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It could be quite nerve-wracking when you get on stage, you know, out the blue,
in front of like 35,000 people.
And you might forget the lyrics, and it's like, oh, yeah. But you know, it's just blurry, because I know when they were at the Out of White, they were playing, you know, Do You Know My Enemy? And they had you know, they chose somebody from the audience who apparently knew the lyrics, and she did. You know, and she sang it out of her heart. She might not have been in tune, however, but she knew exactly what the words were, and that was great to see. Made her day. Is that something as well which inspires you as well into the future of doing that as well? If you don't really do it already?
As in bringing people up on stage?
Yeah, to sing along with your songs, or?
I mean, it'd be nice to be at a point where enough people know our songs that they would know what to do to come up on stage.
Yeah.
But so, funnily enough, I actually front a Green Day tribute band as well.
Yes, I've seen that on your Instagram. Yeah, with the wigs.
And during our shows, we do occasionally get someone up to like help sing a song or whatever, which is kind of cool.
That is
get
cool.
to live that little fancy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, it'd be nice with Skinny, whether we'll get to that point or not. But you know, if not, then their loss, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, absolutely, indeed. Before we end this, by the way, is there anything else you would like to mention, which I might not mention, which you think is important to get off your chest on this lovely Hump Day Wednesday?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Just enjoy the rest of your summer.
Yeah, right, last day.
Enjoy whatever. I was just looking outside and I thought, do you know what? The sun's come out this evening. That's nice.
Yeah, well, it has
Make the
been.
most of it.
The sun has been out today here in Manchester, but it keeps drizzling, so we're off and on. So it's just quite funny because we've got lovely sun, but then every time it drizzles. So, but it's not always raining though in Manchester. I'm going to point that out.
Classic British weather.
Yeah. Yeah, but people always say every time they come to Manchester, it's always raining. That's not always true. When I was off, when was it? I took a week off in what month we're in now? July, aren't we? So 2 weeks ago, I was off for a week, and it was lovely and sunny. Didn't rain once. So it does shine, just like California. It does shine like California when it wants to do. But thank you again for your time this evening, by the way, and much appreciated for you. And hopefully that you know, the new single is gonna be great. I hope it may reach to something more, especially the new single. Maybe we can get onto the radio as well, because many people say that their bucket list is to get their songs and albums on the radio. To get in front of more people, but then the point is, after that, is what's the goal after that? You know, you achieve that, how are you going to top that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I can't wait for that to happen to you guys as well, and I hope that you have some more gigs sometime for the rest of the year, because otherwise we're a very quiet time, not doing any gigging and just doing the writing and not able to express all that writing into new content. But hopefully through a new single, which you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we'll obviously keep everyone posted about it, and we'll be doing a little bit more towards the end of the year. So we're kind of going to take the rest of the summer off, and then be back to it later in the year. So obviously, just keep an eye out on all of our socials and stuff, and see what's going on.
Yeah, no, absolutely fine for that. And you can find my guest on Instagram as well, under the name of let's just show you our graphic, Andy L Smooth. As well on Instagram. You've got over 5,000 followers on Instagram. Superb, by the way. Obviously, people are liking what you're posting, and obviously for your band and all social media, they're liking the content you guys are pumping out, and I can't wait to see that continuing and the success you guys bring, and being able to grow your fan bases as well on different social medias.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And, hopefully you'll come back on the show again soon as well, if you liked how this went tonight. And if you liked the episode, then make sure to, of course, smash that like button, share the video around, tell them about Handy and tell them about Skinny Knowledge as well. Great rock alternative band as well. Share it to everyone, tell me about it, and make sure you follow and like them and share them around on all the usual places across social media, across the music platforms. Help them to get the music out to as many people as possible, because they're a great group of people who love to make music and able to help people in difficult situations, which of course Andy has gone through himself through his album which he released of course last year. And all that great stuff as well. Make sure to subscribe if you like the content around here. So smash that subscribe button. We've got over 248 subscribers here on YouTube, and you can find myself across social media on Facebook, X, and Instagram. I think it's much easier to say X than Twitter. I think Twitter was a bit too long. Now we say X, so much easier and better, I think. That's my opinion. But until the next episode, whenever that may be, enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening.